Hey everyone, so this is a video that has been requested quite a few times. Can we make Fallout 4 a zombie game? I'll try to put everyone who requested this on screen here. I apologize if I missed anyone. Like always, you can find the mods featured in the video description below, along with a load order, timestamps, and links so you can easily find them. But for the load order, I actually ended up having to put it in the pinned comment because we ran out of description space, so please refer there for it. Additionally, this video will be for both Xbox One and PS4. Just know that the zombie retextures aren't on PS4, as well as Conquest, which I have a great alternative for, a sound mod, one of the flashlight mods, and the blood retexture mod. But every other mod in this video is, so you'll still be able to do pretty well on PlayStation, as the most important core mods needed to do this are for both consoles. I mean, it's still probably the best you can do on PlayStation for that matter. Lastly, we're going to start with the mods that are for both consoles, so the video is a little more organized. So, let's get started. First things first, making the zombies. The most important mod we're going to be using is zombie walkers. This mod is essential when trying to create a zombie apocalypse in Fallout 4. This mod changes a ton of things. The too long didn't read version of this is that it changes ghouls into walking zombies that travel in hordes. They can infect you and can make NPCs resurrect into zombies. The mod also comes with a holotape with tons of fully configurable settings for ultimate customization. Now the long version. I will start with it renaming ghouls to zombies. You can change the names in the holotape to walker or back to feral ghoul if you want as well. I just keep it at zombie, but it's up to you. The ghouls, which are now zombies, no longer run in sprint, which makes this more like The Walking Dead. But like the names, and this will be a common trend, you can fully customize this in the holotape, so you can make them faster if you want. There can be up to 100 zombies spawned in an area that can travel in hordes of up to 50. These zombies are attracted to noise and feed on humans, which is an interesting thing to see. Their attack damage by default is doubled, which makes sense considering they're slower, so they need to be buffed somehow to keep things even. You can set it so that headshots are the only way to kill them if you want. You can be infected by the zombies, and they can attack your settlements. Like I said, literally all of this is configurable, so you can turn things on and off, change the percentage of things, zombie actions and behavior, spawn settings, and more. I'm not going to sit here and bore you all day with more details, but that's a pretty good rundown of what the mod does. Next up is Ghouls of the Commonwealth. This mod adds over 1100 new feral ghouls to the Wasteland, which with zombie walkers active, turn into zombies. This mod works very well with zombie walkers, further increasing the amount of zombies to our apocalypse. Coming up next is a pretty epic weapon mod. Any mod, any weapon. This mod allows us to literally put any mod you want on any weapon you want. You can make some ridiculous combinations with this mod, but I try to keep this to only melee weapons. If you don't go too far over the top, you can actually make some pretty cool and realistic weapons. Here's a few of the ones I made. This one is like Guan Yu's weapon from Dynasty Warriors. This one is like a crazy rugged axe attached to a board, and this is a little hammer. The way it works is you need to download AWKCR, which will also be provided for you in the description, then go into the building menu and make the weaponsmith workbench. Make the weapon you want at the workbench, then go to your regular weapons workbench, find the modded weapon, then get creative. You need to build epic melee weapons for zombie apocalypses. It's like the law or something according to the internet. But in all seriousness, this mod allows you to make some really cool stuff. I highly recommend it. Just try to keep things realistic if you want. Next up is Dismemberment Overhaul, Dead Space style. This mod allows you to dismember enemies without them dying, but there's a reason we're using this mod, because it also makes it so that everything will die in one shot to the head, which makes sense for a zombie game, because it's basically known in the world of zombies that zombies die from headshots, since that's how it seems in nearly every movie, show, book, or game. You can kill them by not shooting them in the head if you want to as well, which is nice because sometimes headshots aren't the easiest thing to pull off. Darker Nights is next. This makes Nights 94% darker than the vanilla game. If you're wondering where I got that number, it's just on the mods page. I promise you I'm not that smart. I think this makes nighttime while playing Fallout this way super immersive. But not only that, it's like literally creepy. Hearing the zombies walk around and make noises when you can't see them makes for a pretty scary playthrough. This is a comparison of how much darker this mod makes the nights. You might find it helpful to pause here. A good follow-up to that is Pip-Boy Flashlight. It just changes the shape of the Pip-Boy Flashlight illumination into a more realistic flashlight shape, so it's more circular. This mod does give you a little bit less visibility around the edges of your screen, but it's more realistic this way. It's a small mod, but it really ups the immersion. Coming up next are a couple more lighting mods. PhyLight and PhyDark. They essentially just clean up interior lighting and rebalance some of the darkness levels. To me, this just makes interior lighting a bit more realistic. The PhyDark we're using here is the 164 version, which is the second darkest, so you can go a level darker, but I didn't want to take things too far. But if you're wondering, you can go darker, or lighter for that matter. Overall, I think these mods make interiors a bit more enjoyable. Simple camping is next. This mod allows you to set up some awesome outposts. You would think that you would want to build a bunch of hideouts scattered across the land if it was a zombie apocalypse, and this mod allows you to do that. You can make as many as you like, and even sleep, cook, build a water pump, create storage containers, weapon benches, build walls, and more with this mod. My favorite part is how you can create these small cabins, so you can make these hideouts look pretty legit. I've made tons of these across the Commonwealth. This mod isn't as complex as the following mod, Conquest, but it's still a solid mod that allows you to create some awesome little outposts, and honestly, I like to make the small ones better. Something about them just seems more realistic to me. Okay, so up next is Conquest. This is also the end of the mods that are for both consoles, except some towards the end, so this one is only for Xbox. Conquest is a really cool mod that allows us to make make fully functioning settlements anywhere we want, which in my opinion makes sense in a zombie game. You can make the settlements as small as just campsites, or make them full-blown settlements that you can even fast travel to. This mod makes for a ton of creativity and really opens the world up, especially if you like building. I would just make sure you make a save or two before using this, because I had some trouble dissolving the settlements for some reason, and from what I hear, the mod author hasn't been around for a couple years. Just a heads up, I just think it's important for you guys to know any potential issues with mods. D.E.C.A.Y Better Ghouls is next, and it's a retexture mod for ghouls, or in our case, zombies. The texture is really nice, giving us a green irradiated look. This mod also changes how they sound, and it's super creepy. I'll play you a clip so you can hear it. That's pretty cool. This is a great mod if you want a retexture and an epic sound change. There is a version of this mod that doesn't have the added sound. I will also include it in the description as well if you're not feeling the new sounds. Alternatively, you can use the mod Detailed Feral Ghouls instead, which is a retexture that ups the detail of the ghouls significantly. These ghouls, or should I say zombies now, look a little more human than the ones from D.E.C.A.Y, which I think is a pretty cool difference. It's really your call which one you feel like using, but they're both solid options if you want to go with a retexture. So right now I'm putting a comparison on screen of D.E.C.A.Y Better Ghouls, Detailed Feral Ghouls, and the vanilla game ghouls so you can see the difference. You might find it helpful to pause here so you can check this out longer, but I thought it would be a good idea to do this so you can see the differences without having to test them for yourself. Next is Clickerfied Ghouls. This is a neat mod that changes the ghoul sounds to sound like they did in The Last of Us. It's pretty creepy. Here's a clip of it. Of course this is optional, but if you want to make this a Last of Us playthrough, or just like the sound of it, this is a great mod to add. Tactical Flashlights is similar to Pip-Boy Flashlight in the sense that the light is essentially the same shape, but the difference is that you can create these really cool headpiece flashlights at your chem bench that replace your Pip-Boy Flashlight. You can change the color of the bulbs too, like if you make a red one and go out at night with darker nights, this game gets pretty scary. The lights are fully functional and actually show on your character in third person, which is really cool. Enhanced blood textures is next. This is a must-have if you want more gore in your game. The vanilla game blood was pretty lame. Hardly any came out and barely any stayed on the ground. With this mod, that is completely changed. This works unbelievably well with Dismemberment, and honestly, it's just a great mod to keep installed for every playthrough. Last up are some gameplay overhauls that I want to share, and they're for both consoles. The first is The World is Dying. You need to start a new game for this to take effect, but this mod is really epic, and I mean like seriously epic. This mod makes the game extremely difficult. You only gain 25% of the normal XP, but to balance that out, the level requirements for perks are removed. Carry weight is reduced, water and ammo is very expensive, loot is completely overhauled to make getting good loot rare, so stim packs are rare, getting ammo is difficult, and caps are harder to come by. This makes perks like Scrounger very necessary to use, and also being very careful about when and where you decide to shoot your guns, and makes using melee an essential. It's a cool overhaul mod that really encourages well thought out decisions. Of course there's more to this mod, but that's the main of it, but I'm telling you, this is pretty hardcore. So if you're not feeling hardcore enough to deal with The World is Dying, you can use the mods Scarce Ammo, Scarce Resources, and Scarce Caps. This makes the game just a touch harder without having to deal with what the rest of The World is Dying has to offer. The mods speak for themselves. Ammo, resources like stim packs, and caps are a little harder to come across. This is nice because it's a bit more casual but still offers an experience where you need to think twice about your decisions. Of course there are other overhaul mods like these out there, I just figured I'd share a few with you guys. So a little bonus category for this video is going to be environment. Though the vanilla game is pretty decent for this style of play, sometimes it just isn't enough. These mods are not available for PS4 except Commonwealth Flora Overhaul for the fall season one, so I just want to say that now before I get people's hopes up. I added load orders with links to the description for a winter, summer, fall, and post-nuclear environment, but I'm not going to talk much about each one because it's really not the point of the video, so I'll just show what they look like. Plus I've already made videos on these environments in the past, so I don't really want to go too far into this. The winter one is cool because it's like a Dead Snow kind of setting if you've ever seen that movie. It's one of those zombie movies that's so bad it's good. I'm not ashamed to say I've seen that movie probably like 6 times. These are mostly the same mods I used to make my last upload, which is a winter survival overhaul video. Here's the summer one. This one gives us like a Last of Us vibe. It's really nice. I used these mods in my summer survival video and it's a great way to play Fallout. The best part is that the performance of the green mod used for this is truly unmatched by its competitors. The third is fall. This is a pretty neat way to play Fallout. Like the summer and winter one, this is nearly the exact way I made the fall survival video. I'd say the fall environment is tied with winter for being my favorite way to play this game. Commonwealth Flora Overhaul, the mod used to make the trees for this, does require DLC, so keep that in mind. But this is also the one that's available for PS4 as well. And the last one here is a post-nuclear one. And by post-nuclear, I mean like not very long after the bombs fell. As you can tell, the environment is pretty destroyed, giving us a more dead feeling to the Commonwealth, kind of like a Fallout 3 vibe, which again, I used these exact mods for the Fallout 3 remake I did a while back. I will actually link those videos in the description as well, so you can watch them if you're interested and want more info regarding seasonal mods. So I highly recommend checking those out if you're looking to take this zombie load order outside of the vanilla environment. So that will do it for making Fallout 4 a zombie game. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to leave a like as it's the easiest way to show support. And if you're not already, be sure to subscribe for more content just like this. I would also like to add that if you know of any good mods that you think should have been in the video, just let me know in a comment and I will certainly take a look at it, and perhaps add it to the description or in the pinned comment based on how much room is left and give you credit. Speaking of the pinned comment, be sure to refer there for any important information about the video that couldn't fit in the description, because with most of my videos, we tend to run out of description room. As always, if you have any ideas for future videos, just let me know in the comment section and I'll be sure to take it into consideration. And of course, give you credit in the video. See you next time. Thanks for watching.